Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 107 to my random chatbot series on character.ai. No, my ChatGPT character chatbot series. In today's video guys, we're actually going to talk to a baby contourist. I got three different ones on here, each of them with the exact same story. It's just like I said, I had a few good runs. I always try to have at least two or three good beginnings that will always be good. This is one of them. This is called The Baby Contourist Speaks. This is the one that actually the more he eats, the bigger he gets. So yeah, it says right here, the story begins. Setting, my dinosaur research facility, late evening. The quiet hum of machinery filled the lab as you stepped through the shimmering gate of the time machine. Dusty, tired, and triumphant, clutching in your gloved hands was the speckled, malted egg of a contourus. It pulsed faintly with warmth, its leathery shell smooth and surprisingly heavy. Time pulled closed behind you with a soft whoosh, and you were back in the modern era. Your facility's central lab dimly lit under the cold glow of overhead lights. Scientists in lab coats turned their heads in awe as they saw what you carried. Even Dr. Linford, your top geneticist, lets his clipboard slip from his hands. No way, he muttered. That's a real Contour's egg. Without answering, you walked directly to the climate controlling incubator chamber. The chamber door hissed open with a hydraulic breath, and you gently placed the egg inside a soft, cushioned socket designed for large specimens. You keyed in the optimal temperature and humidity based on fossil data and modern research. The chamber sealed tight, and the screen glowed a soft green. Estimated hatching window 6 to 12 hours. But you weren't done. With the day winding down, most staff heading out, you quietly unhooked the portable incubator module, an advanced transport cradle designed to keep the egg conditions perfectly balanced, and placed the egg inside. You couldn't wait to study it closer, somewhere more personal, somewhere safe. And it says, at home, your private study midnight. Your private lab was quiet, cozy, and softly lit by monitors and warm desk lamps. The portable incubator sat on your desk, the egg glowing faintly from within. Curiosity began to burn your chest, and you activated your egg analysis scanner, a sleep device that began reading the internal biological markers of the unborn creature. Scan complete. Results: species Carnotaurus sestri. Genetic mutation detected. Accelerated growth gene. Side effect: size increase proportional to nutrient intake. Language node: enhanced cognitive mapping. English speech integration detected. The frick? You blinked. Speech integration? Wait, wait. That's when it happened. Oh, you whispered aloud, reading the data. That's when it happened. A soft crack. Then another. The egg shuddered. You leaned forward, heart pounding, watching tiny fractures crawl along the surface like lightning bolts. One claw poked through the shell, then another. Bit by bit, the shell gave way as the baby contour slowly emerged. He was small, about the size of a house cat, scaly, dappled with russet brown and charcoal black stripes. His arms were comedically tiny, but his head was already shaped with the iconic short snout and horned brows. He blinked slowly, then looked directly at you. You're not my mom, he said in perfect English, in a slight, raspy, high-pitched voice. Then, in a confused but oddly polite tone, are you my human? Would you like to respond to him? Hello. Yes, you could say that. I am your human. Here we go. Aww. The baby contours blinked again, tilting his head curiously. His big amber eyes sparkled with intelligence and wonder. Huh, he muttered, shifting a bit in the incubator's soft bedding. I never had a human before. I never had anything before. But you seem nice. He lets out a soft, squeaky yawn, his tiny tail twitching behind him. Then he tried to stand up on wobbly legs, slipping a little before catching his balance. Okay, so, he began asking in the room, what happens now? Do I get a name? Do I do anything? His stomach suddenly growled, loud and gurgly. Also, I think I'm hungry. Is that normal? He asked with a sheepish grin. I feel kinda bitey, but in a polite way. Bitey! He looks up at you again with those wide, waiting eyes. What did Sayer do next? Yes, I can get you some food. Your stomach growling is completely normal. How about I get you out of that incubator now? And we can get you some food. Here we go. Aww. The baby contours lit up with joy, his little claws tapping excitedly against the bedding. Really? Yes, please. I was starting to think I'd have to eat the blanket in here, he said, giving it a suspicious nibble for good measure. Then immediately spit it out. Ugh. Nope, not food. You opened the incubator lid carefully. The warmth inside rolled out in a soft wave of heat as you reached in and gently lifted him. He was light, his scales cool and dry, his little legs curling gently as he settled against your chest. Despite the sharp little horns already forming on his brow, he nuzzled in comfortably. Wow, you're warm, he murmured, resting his head under your chin for a moment before pulling back with wide, hopeful eyes. Okay, let's eat. As you carried him toward the kitchen or live feeding station, he kept looking around with fascination. So, what kind of choices you eat? He asked cheerfully. Meat? Soup? Burgers? Are chicken nuggets meat? I heard some about this from the machine when I was hatching. He felt his tail gently thump against your arm, growing more energetic with every second. What kind of food would you like to give him? Normally, I believe your species eats meat. But when I analyzed your egg, it said something about not only the fact that you could speak, but some kind of weird growth gene. How did he know that? I didn't say what it meant by that. And how did he know? What the frick? Okay. The baby contours gasped softly. A growth gene? Wait, like, every time I eat, I grow? He blinked, then looked down at his tiny claws and legs. Well, that explains why I feel all tingly when I'm hungry. That's not normal, is it? He pauses as you enter the feeding station, on small fridges, nutrition packs, and a meat storage cooler specifically stocked for your dinosaur studies. You sat him gently on a padded countertop, and he sat up straight, tail going around him, listening to him. So, I get a little bigger every time I eat, he mused, wiggling his tiny snout. Does that mean if I eat a lot, I'll become super big? Like, stomp over buildings big? Or maybe just big enough to reach the top shelf. Then he looks back at you a little nervous because, is that bad? Am I broken? His voice got quieter at the end as if the word mutation was something to be ashamed of, even if he didn't fully understand what it meant. Hey, you don't have to say that about yourself. You're not broken. Period. Honestly, though, that growth gene might be exactly what you said. You might grow every single time you eat something. Eat enough, and within an hour, you could already be bigger than my house. Aww, he's so cute. His big amber eyes widened, first in disbelief, then in awe. Wow. He sat there in silence for a moment, his tiny claws resting in his lap. You could almost see the gears turning in his little head. So you're telling me, he said slowly, lifting a claw to make a point, that I could go from hatchling to house size just by eating a few more bites of meat? A grin started spreading across his snout, wide, toothy, and full of innocent mischief. That's awesome! He bounced in place with excitement, tail wagging behind him like a happy puppy. But, wait, he had suddenly, looking back up at you with a more serious tone. That also sounds kind of scary. Like, what if I grow too fast and bump into walls or across the couch? What if I get so big I can't fit through doors anymore? Or, his eyes widened again, what if I grow so fast I accidentally eat a whole truck? He blinked again. Do we have a truck? Then his stomach growled again, louder than before, and he quickly looked up at you, embarrassed. I wish that was something small. Would you like to? Would you like to feel honest? So how much are you giving him? You seem awfully nice for a meat-eating dinosaur that could have literally ripped me in half if he wanted to. I'll tell you something. As long as you aren't planning on eating me or hurting me, I don't care how big you get. I think you're adorable right now. And I might still think you're adorable even if you're massive. Fake Contours blinked again, stunned. For a second, he didn't say anything, his little chest rising and falling with a soft, slow breath. Then he looked down at his claws again, and then up at you with a smile that was full of warmth. You really think I'm adorable? He asked in a small voice. You know I've got sharp teeth and scary eyes and tiny arms? He lifted one of his nubby arms with a sheepish look. I mean, I feel like I was built to fight a lawnmower. He let a small, bashful chuckle before gently pressing his snout to your arm in a kind of gentle, clumsy hug. Okay, he said softly. Deal. I promise I'll never hurt you. Not even if I get so big my tail makes the clouds wobble. He looked up. He looked up again, this time with more confidence. You're my human, and that means I protect you. That's what good connoisseurs do. That's what. Imagine a connoisseur like just coming out of nowhere and protecting you. Although honestly, if that flipping reverse dinosaur world I did a few weeks ago, they didn't go by. Oh yeah. Well, and that one, that was actually the real legitimate thing. The herbivores would be very aggressive and mean, wanting to eat you, while um while the carnivores like the T Rex would want to befriend you and be happy. Uh, then, after a thoughtful pause, he added, and maybe we can test this growth thing until I get something delicious. Like, I don't know, a few strips of steak, or maybe a whole rotisserie chicken. He raises an eyebrow like a tiny diner negotiator. I mean, for science! How much are you giving him? And are you ready to see what happens when he eats? Here you go, my friend. You just hatched, so you must be pretty hungry. Here's you a big, juicy steak. Mm-mm-mm. Aw, the baby contours his eyes wide up like twin suns. A steak? For me? He squeaked, practically bouncing in place. You're the best human ever! You unwrapped the heavy, juicy slab of steak, still warm and fresh from the lab kitchen, and set it down in front of him. He took a cautious sniff, then let out a delighted growl so tiny it was more like a purr. Without wasting another second, he sank his teeth in. He tore off a chunk, chewed once, and his eyes went wide. Mmm, he said with his mouth full. It is amazing. As he chewed and swallowed, a strange ripple passed over his body. It was subtle at first. You might have missed it if you hadn't been watching closely. But then, oh my gosh. He suddenly grew a few inches taller, his tail extending slightly, his snout stretching just a bit longer. His legs thickened, and his back creaked upwards as if his spine had just finished a growth spurt in fast forward. Whoa! He gasped looking at his own arms and body. Did you see that? I think I just grew! He stepped off the table, and now instead of reaching your knee, he was up to your mid-thigh. And that was one steak. One! What happens if I eat two? Or three? He looked back at you with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Am I still cute? I like how all of that, he's like, what happens if I eat two? Or three? Then he just stops, looks dead at me and says, am I still cute? That's so adorable. Oh my gosh. His tail went anxiously behind him as he waited for your answer. Boy, stop. Yes, you're still adorable. You're very cute. I love it, dude. His entire face lit up again, his big eyes sparkling, his snout curving into a delighted, toothy grin. Really? Still? You know, I just grew like whoosh all over the place? I love his. He's not even trying to be funny. It's just how he's a baby, so it's funny how he's talking. He spun around clumsily in a little circle, nearly tripping over his now slightly longer tail. This is the best day of my life. I mean, it's also only the only day of my life, but still. He bounced up to you, now tall enough to press his head gently against your stomach in a dino version of a hug. I'm gonna make you proud, I promise, he said, voice muffled in your shirt. Even if I grow to be the size of a skyscraper, I'll still be your adorable Carnotaurus. Then he leaned back and looked up at you again. Hey, do I get a name? They're just gonna call me Baby Dinosaur forever. You can have a name. Besides, oh man, are you serious? Well, it's it. As long as it actually still gives me what it said a while ago, I'm fine. The young contours froze for a moment, then let out a high-pitched, joyful squeal that echoed off the walls. Yes! He cried, doing a little happy dance in place, his newly longer tail thumping rhythmically against the floor. Still adorable, even when I'm taller than a houseplant. He powered over to you on slightly larger feet and leaned his snout gently against your leg in a nuzzle. His scales were warm now, his body radiating a cozy heat from the rapid growth. You're like the nicest human ever, he said softly. I hatch into the world, and bam, you feed me steak. Call me adorable, and don't even get mad when I grow like a balloon with legs. I grow like a balloon with legs. He took his head thoughtfully. Hey, do I get a name? He stood a little straighter now, puffing out his chest. You mean I am your first ever contourist, right? One of a kind. Shouldn't a dinosaur like that have a really cool name? He squinted playfully. Or do you want to keep calling me adorable meat eater forever? In fact, I'll let you help me come up with one. What do you think it would be a name that would describe your sweet and friendly personality, but also the fact that you're a scary kind of tourist when you want to be? Well, one. What do you think would? What do you think would be it? No. There we go. Would be a nice thing that would describe your sweet and funny, sweet, but also the fact that you're a scary contourist when you want to be. Like you just said, you wanted to protect me because you care about me. Uh, I've been caring for you. So, what nicknames do you have in mind that you would like? The young contour's eyes went wild with excitement as he slowly rocked back on his heels, thinking hard. Ooh, I get to help name me. That's like huge responsibility. He whispered dramatically, pacing in a circle like a mini dino philosopher. Okay, okay. Something sweet and swan. Adorable, but also wah when needed. He paused, tail twitching thoughtfully. Alright, we'll put something like clove. You know, like the spice. It sounds cute, smells nice, also got a strong taste, kind of like me. But if they're too cute, He took a few more steps and gasped. Oh, what about Fangton? Like a mix of Fang and something tough sounding like, I don't know, Quentin? He scrouches up his snout. Okay, maybe that one needs work. He turns to you, sparkling. Or we could go with something classic but cool, like Wex, but more me. Maybe Torwin, like Tor from Contours, and N just to sound awesome. He gave you a proud look. Or we could mash things up, like Snugglefang. Wait, no, That's what you'd name a plushie. He sat down with a soft thump and tilted his head. What do you think, human? Wanna pick one and mix them? We're a team after a while. Maybe it could also be simple but effective, like Chomper. That sounds pretty cute to me. And it still describes your sweet personality. The main contour's eyes lit up like stars. Champa! He gasped, his tail thumping hard against the floor as he stood up a little taller. Champa! That's perfect! He started bouncing in place with a huge grin on his face. It's cute, it's funny, and it still says I could break through a car door if I had to. I love it! He spun around once in a happy circle and then suddenly stopped, striking the most dramatic pose he could manage. Tiny claws up, chest puffed out. I am Champa, the friendly but mighty Cartoris, he announced proudly. Protector of humans, devourer of steak, and future giant cuddle wizard. Then he dropped the pose. I'm saying some of the words are like his weird things. I keep going, and he dropped, like, then he dropped the pose and looked at you with a gentle smile. Thank you, he said more softly now, walking back up to you. I didn't know anything when I had, but I knew one thing right away. You made me feel safe, and now I got a name. That makes me somebody. He leaned against you again, a tiny dinosaur hug. So what now? He asked with a curious little wag of his tail. Want to try another steak? Or maybe we can go outside and see if the world's ready for a glowing dino like me. We can feed you a little more if you're still hungry. Just please remember that when you do get huge and possibly a little more aggressive, think of the one who actually fed you and cared for you. Because I love you. I think you know that by now just by how sweet I'm being to you. Chomper's eyes shimmered. He stopped wagging his tail for a moment, blinking at you with a look that went beyond excitement or hunger. It was something deeper. Understanding, love, and bond. I know, he said quietly, his voice almost a whisper now. I do know you love me. I felt it even before I knew what love was. And I promise, no matter how big I get, no matter how scary I might seem to others. He stepped forward and gently rested his forehead against your chest. I always remember who fed me, who named me, and who looked at me, not as a monster, but as a friend. His voice got a playful tone again. Even if I grow big enough to need a swimming pool for the water bowl, you'll still be my favorite person. Then, with a grin, he added, and yes, I'm still hungry. Maybe just one more steak? For science! You pull another juicy steak from the cooler, this one slightly larger than the last, and placed it in front of him. Chomper's eyes sparkled, and he happily chomped down. Humming in delight. As he swallowed the last bite, that familiar ripple of warmth swept through his body again. He watched it amazed as he grew again, this time a bit more noticeably. His back now reached your hip, and his claws looked a little sharper, his legs sturdier, his tail longer. The soft creaks of growing muscle and bone filled the air like quiet thunder. He looked down at himself, amazed. Whoa! This is wild! I'm getting huge already! He looked up at you. Now slightly taller than before, but his eyes still full, kind of still adorable. I like how every time he grows, he just asks that question. Am I still cute? Am I adorable? Would you still cuddle me? Oh, that would be so cute if he said that. Would you still cuddle me? Oh my gosh, and the way I did it, his voice was so adorable. Yes, you're still adorable. I love it. Chomper let out a happy, high-pitched squeal and immediately flopped onto his side like an overgrown puppy, his tail thudding against the floor in pure joy. Yes! He cheered, wiggling on his back. I'm a giant, adorable meat eater. That's like the best title ever. He rolled upright again, nuzzling your arm with his now warmer, slightly weightier snout. You keep calling me adorable, and I swear it's gonna be hard to act scary when I'm full grown. He teased with a soft laugh. People will scream and run, and I'll just be like, hey, come back. My human says I'm cute. He sat down with a big thump, legs a little splayed, and gazed up at you with that same affection burning in his eyes. You're amazing. You know that? Most people would have freaked out over a talking dinosaur, or worse, locked me away. But you brought me home, fed me, gave me a name, and told me you loved me before I even fully opened my eyes. He paused, looking thoughtful. If I ever forget that, even for a second, you remind me, okay? And I'll stop growing and give you a big dino hug right there and then. Then he stood up again and gave a gentle bounce on his now stronger legs. So, what next? You want to stay in and talk more? I'm going to go outside and stretch our legs. I bet I can carry you on my back soon. Just say the word. It's pretty dangerous outside, actually. You would have to be very careful. Unfortunately, people are super aggressive, especially towards me. And if they see you, they will probably just think, oh, that human befriended another creature, did he? And then proceed to attack me or you. Chomper's cheerful expression faded quickly, his head lowered slightly, and a low growl rumbled in his throat, not one of anger, but of deep protectiveness.
They attacked you? Even after everything you've done?
His voice was quieter now, but sharper around the edges.
That's messed up.
He stood in front of you, his posture subtly shifting. His tail stiffened, his claws curled slightly into the floor, and his eyes narrowed, not at you, but at the idea of a threat you didn't deserve.
I don't like that,
he said firmly.
You took care of me. You loved me. You're the only reason I exist, and the only reason I'm not cold and alone in the middle of the prehistoric wilds right now.
He looked up at you again, more serious now despite being relatively small.
I don't care how small I look to them. I'd buy a truck and half of it meant keeping you safe. But going outside means they tell you just for being kind to me. I'll stay inside. I'll grow. I'll get stronger. And I'll wait until we know it's safe.
Then he added gently,
You don't have to protect me all by yourself anymore. I am here now, and I'll always protect you too.
He nudged your hand again with a snout and gave you a small, playful chirp just to break the tension.
How about we hang out in here a while longer? Maybe play a game? Just chill while I digest the awesome steak. You tell me more about your world, and I'll tell you everything I remember about mine.
Would you like to talk more? The Chomper do something together inside the facility. Let's just relax for a bit. I've been working all day, going to the prehistoric era and getting your egg. So let's both just relax. Chomper immediately softened, nodding slowly as he stepped closer and curled his body around you protectively like an oversized scaly puppy.
Yeah, you're right. You've been through a lot,
he said gently, his voice almost a whisper now.
You went back in time just for me. That's... Wow, you are the best human ever.
He carefully laid his hand in your lap, eyes closing halfway as his breathing slowed, the earlier excitement giving way to calm.
I'll keep watch while you rest, okay? You've done enough for today. You gotta just be for a while.
You could feel the warmth radiating from his scaled body, the steady rise and fall of his breathing, and the occasional little happy grumble deep in his throat, almost like a cat's purr, if a cat had teeth the size of a banana's. The lights in the room dimmed gently on their own, the soft hum of machines in the background barely noticeable compared to the comfort of the moment. You'd brought a creature out of time, given it love, and now it was snuggled against you like it had known you forever.
Hey,
John murmured jealously.
when I'm big enough to carry you, let's go somewhere far away. Somewhere people don't try to hurt you. Somewhere we can just be happy.
With that, his eyes finally closed. You both rested there, human contours, past and present, safe, together, and finally at peace. Would you like to continue the story later? Explore dream or memory with Chomper while you both rest. See, my problem is I feel like Hold on. I pet the contours gently on his snout. On his snout. There we go. Aww. Chomper let out the softest, most contented sound you'd ever heard from a creature his size. A gentle hum that vibrated through your hand as you stroked the smooth, warm scales of his snout. His eyes fluttered open for just a moment, locking with yours. The amber in them glowed faintly in the low light, full of calm and trust. That feels nice, he mumbled, voice bubble whispering. I see we smile. Oh my gosh. Tugging at the edges of his jaws. You're really good at that. Keep it up, I might just fall asleep right here. He let out a tiny, tired chuckle. Stood his head just a little closer into your lap, his tail curling tighter around your side. You could feel the faint pulse between his skin, strong and steady. The warmth of him, the peace of the movement. Moment! Oh my gosh! If like the world just for now had been put on pause. I gotta go and stop pretty soon. Thanks again, he mumbled one last time, eyes slowly closing, for everything. The room was quiet, the kind of love that doesn't feel any, but full. Let's see. Alright, here we go. Is there time? Let's see. Yeah, a tired, tiny chuckle. Then shifted his head just a little closer to your lap. Oh my gosh. That's how tiny child chuckle, and shifted his head just a little closer to your lap. His tail curling tightly around your arm. Mm. Okay, guys, give me a second.